What's up, everyone? We're going to dive into sinkers today. Specifically, I want to talk about the location of them and figure out what is the optimal side of the plate to throw your sinker. We'll start by looking at the pitch frequency map last year in the major leagues for right-handed pitchers. We can see that they are primarily throwing the pitch to the arm side, so away to lefties and into righties, which is typically what you hear and it's typically what is taught. You want to throw the pitch on the arm side of the plate because that's the direction that the ball is moving. But now let's look at expected WOBA. So this is expected weighted on base average. The expected number just factors in the launch angle and the exit velocity to give us a little bit more of an accurate number. Blue is good for the pitcher, red is good for the hitter. We can see with lefties, there is a ton of blue inside, so that would be thrown to the glove side for a righty. There is a little bit of blue away, but there's really a lot of blue inside and up and in as well, which is surprising with a sinker. Right-handed hitters, there's a ton of blue away, once again, to the glove side, but there is some blue still on the inside part of the plate, but more so off the plate. And typically when you think about sinkers, you're thinking about throwing them down into the arm side. So if I throw this pitch down into the arm side to a righty, it's actually in a pretty green spot for them. Lefties, if I can execute it, that's still a pretty good location. Now let's look at swing rate. So this is factoring in, based on the location, how often are batters actually taking a swing. The more red, the higher the percentage. So we can see for both of these guys, lefties and righties, pitches moving to the arm side, pitches located on the arm side are having a higher swing percentage, especially against right-handed hitters. We can see like if it's middle in, they are going to hack, which is leaving the outside part of the plate pretty wide open. And then even with lefties, like if you can bear that pitch in, it's a much lower swing percentage than moving middle away with the pitch. So this is what I would do, to make sense of this information on how I would use a sinker in a perfect world. When you're behind in the count, throw the pitch arm side. When you're ahead in the count, go glove side. So if we're looking at expected WOBA and behind counts, when you're behind, let's just say 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 2-1, all those counts that are behind, when you throw the sinker to the glove side part of the plate, the expected WOBA is 484 and expected ISO of 260. So that's super, super high. When you throw it to the arm side when you're behind in the count, the expected WOBA is 435 and expected ISO of 201. So still not great, but it is better than when you're throwing it to the glove side when you're behind in the count. When you're ahead in the count, going glove side half has an expected WOBA of 203, which is really, really good, and an arm side expected WOBA of 278. Still pretty good, but not nearly as good as the 203 number. And I think the reason that this is the case is we want swings when we are behind in the count. So when we're behind in the count, I don't want to risk a take. Batters are usually pretty comfortable. They're looking for pitches middle away that they can drive when they're behind in the count. So if I can throw that sinker bearing in on them, I'm going to get a swing, which is good. I want contact when I'm behind in the count. I'm not trying to get a called strike. I'm not trying to get nitpicky. I want them to swing. So knowing that they swing more at arm side pitches, that's a great time to throw it. When I'm ahead in the count, I want to get a freeze pitch because sinkers are not swing and miss pitches, especially if I'm going to throw this pitch 0-2, 1-2, which I wouldn't recommend doing very frequently just because this isn't that best performing pitch with two strikes. But if you are going to throw with two strikes, going on the glove side half is going to be your best shot at getting a strikeout via the called strike rather than a swing and miss. Now, there is a caveat to this, right? Like going glove side, in general, the numbers are better going glove side. But executing a glove side sinker is really, really challenging. A couple guys that are really good at this, though, are Logan Webb and Aaron Nola. They jump off the page to me because if you look at their heat maps, which I'll show you right here, they just pepper their sinkers inside to lefties. They are just very, very good at throwing that front hip sinker, making the hitter give up on it, and it comes back at the last second for a called strike. And what's interesting about Logan Webb is he doesn't have a cutter or a four seam. Well, he does have a four seam actually, but he doesn't have anything that's really bearing in on him at higher velo. So he has to execute that sinker on the inner half to set up his changeup. And I think that's really his plan with that pitch is by throwing that sinker in, it now allows the changeup to play even better down and away off of it. And it just allows them to stand up the hitter a little bit, and so they can't get comfortable and dig in over the plate. So just to recap, throw that sinker arm side when you're looking for a swing, throw it glove side when you're looking for a take, and understand that it is harder to execute that pitch to the glove side, and it's going to take practice. You're going to have to stay well connected in your delivery. If I am not connected and I'm just trying to force the ball to the glove side, it's either going to leak over the plate and go for damage, or I'm going to yank it too far inside. So definitely want to practice this, find what your starting point is, and allow yourself to be in sync in your delivery on the inner half of the plate. Before you guys go, I wanted to share that I've started a podcast called The Mound Visit with Josh Gessner. Josh is currently a pitcher in the Texas Rangers organization, and it allows us to provide a cool and unique perspective from a current player and me being a current coach, and to talk about all things pitching development that hopefully can help both sides of the coin with players and coaches.